again. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon, Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Culture prevents so many negative things from happening to us as individuals and as communities.
Strong roots begin with a healthy heart. For Indigenous women, heart health is part of caring for community, culture, and future generations. Even small steps can help protect what matters most. Discover ways to support your heart at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats, because your heart beats for generations. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovated Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis Air. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms with a low of 55. Then Tuesday, clearing with a high of 73. Warmer weather is on the horizon, and what better way to welcome it back than with a fantastic meal and a show at Crooner's Supper Club. Crooner's is located in Fridley on Highway 65, just north of I-694. Check out their concert schedules and dinner menus at croonersmn.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Cody Cup, hit me cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake.
Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, gotta to all my friends and relatives in 4 directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, one of the things today, we got a jam-packed show. I want to talk a little bit about what's happening. We're going to have Wendy Pilot with some Riddlin updates here later on in the show. Really exciting news. And if you haven't been following it, it's about those 2,000 beagles in Wisconsin and an update on our sacred relatives or sacred animals. And then also one of the things that's happening locally here on AM 950, and I just want to talk about that for a little bit here, is that we have for tonight, Lori Fitz of Connections Radio is hosting a special tribute to Melissa Hortman tonight at 7, featuring conversations with U.S. Representative Kelly Morrison, Minnesota House Rep Patty Acombe, and DFL leader Zach Stevenson. So looking forward to that rebroadcast. And also, we came up with a bright idea, too, that we want to rebroadcast State Senator Mary Kunesh's interview Friday with us on that dark day. And the amazing thing with that day, and the story that you'll hear from the state senator, is how close and that people were on a hit list. This person was going across town, and it was very close to State Senator Mary Kunish's house, and so um, all these people, all these DFLers, Democrats that were on this hit list by this person that didn't like DFL people. I don't know if he's ever set his allegiance to MAGA or not, but that's going to be debatable forever here. My feeling about that. Also, too, I just want to really excited to have Wendy come on and talk about what's going on with the farms in Wisconsin. Where they were doing all this ungodly things to these poor beagles, and people protested and tried to get some of the dogs out, and they did. And then Wendy went to the big protest, and I swear to goodness, it was like Standing Rock watching all these live videos with the police shooting rubber bullets and tear gas at these peaceful protesters. There were about 2,000 out there, and that really put things over the edge where people, news from all over the country covered this, and really Ritalin had to do something about this. So it was really a well done thing, and I'm so happy Wendy's got a report, but also really proud of her for going to Wisconsin and getting training and doing things like that, and then dealing with all this assault by the militarized police in Wisconsin. So that was something that was super sad, and but also it's coming to a head here. And again, you're going to have an update from Wendy about what's going on and what happened, and really excited to hear that. Also, one of the things I just wanted to bring up to everybody out there that's listening, I know I became chief editor of, and without a headdress, a chief editor of the Circle magazine. The Circle magazine's been around since 1980, and that will be going to print today. And in 2 weeks, we'll have the Circle magazine, a new edition of this newspaper that's been around since 1980, and it was a monthly newspaper. And I'm excited to say we're sending all the news to the website. So daily Native news, and we'll be collaborating here on Native Roots Radio with what's going on daily. And it's really exciting partnership that we're going to have here, and a lot of crossover and things that are happening and reporting. And so I'm really, really excited for the future of Native Roots Radio, but also the Circle. And so really proud and happy to be part of that. And it's, I just, again, really excited to be a part of that. And you'll be hearing more about that, and you'll be hearing where you can get this great magazine, and where you can get that. So again, really excited. We're going to have this week. We're going to have our friends from the Protecting Pipestone Community Briefing and Public Comment workshop, and that's going to be happening on June 22nd, 1 to 4 p.m. at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. And there's some people there that have been on Native Roots Radio that are going to be leading the way. Mark Tilson, and of course our friend Rachel Dion Thunder of Indigenous Protectors Movement. And we had Mark on with the Environmental Indigenous Network. And it's a 3-hour training to learn about the sacred significance of Pipestone, its history, ecology, geology, and cultural importance, as well as the current status of the proposed pipeline reroute. Yeah, and again, this presentation will provide community members with the information needed to engage in Minnesota PUC public comment process. Volunteers will be available afterward to help attendees submit public statements. And then again, on the poster, there's a QR code for you to easily do that. So again, protecting Pipestone community briefing and public comment workshop coming up at the Indian Center. And there's so much great things that are happening at the Indian Center since they're reopening. And I understand that there's going to be another, I guess it would be a second year grand opening, and Native Roots Radio will definitely be there. Doing our live show again. So we're excited. We're excited to be part of that, and a part of this whole community here in Minnesota and all around Turtle Island. I just want to give a shout out to Reservation Dogs. Sterling Harjo, who did Reservation Dogs, has become one of the most influential creative voices in modern entertainment. And after he brought Indigenous stories and humor and everyday Native experience to a wider audience through Reservation Dogs, he again is earning recognition with his latest series, The Lowdown. And The Lowdown is been re-upped for another year, and that's set in Oklahoma and filmed in the region. Lowdown follows a citizen journalist who uncovers hidden truths while navigating local politics, influence, and community challenges. The series quickly gained attendance from both critics and viewers, leading FX and Hulu to renew it for the second season of this highly successful debut. And a big shout out to those guys. We're really happy to see our relatives all over Turtle Island performing like this and doing great work. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and, we love being here and talking to all our relatives here about what's happening all over Turtle Island, and also what's happening locally here. So, hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to flip a coin. Maybe we'll listen to State Senator Mary Kunesh the next segment. Again, this is Native Roots Radio. Please stay with us. Ho!
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer. Hey, it's Robert Pilot from Native Roots Radio. For a meal that feeds your soul and health, check out Gatherings Cafe. Located in the renovative Minneapolis American Indian Center, Executive Chef Vernon Defoe and team serve up incredible indigenous flavors. Gatherings Cafe has amazing bison tacos featuring lean protein from native wise, corn tortillas, and homemade sides. It's fresh, local food rooted in ancestral knowledge. Stop by for breakfast or lunch. That's Gatherings Cafe, where tradition meets innovation.
This is Chase Iron Eyes announcing a new show on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, powered by Native Roots Radio. The show is called Native American Patriot Talk Radio. What will we do on the show? We are going to explore and dive into the source of American constitutional sovereignty, the intersection of Native American and legal issues. Find us the first and third Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. on AM 950.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot, and hey, we are going to have Wendy on a little earlier, and we're going to move things around a little bit. But again, I want to remind everyone locally here in the Twin Cities and people listening all over online all over Turtle Island that tonight Lori Fitz of Connections Radio is hosting a special tribute to Melissa Hortman tonight at 7, featuring conversations with U.S. Representative Kelly Morrison, Minnesota House Rep Patty Ockham, and DFL House Leader Zach Stevens. So that's at 7. I think I said 6 earlier, so it is at 7 o'clock. Again, later on, we're going to have Wendy talk about the great information and really talk about her journey and how it led up to the news that she's going to give us an update on with our sacred animals, our beagle relatives in Wisconsin, and maybe she can tell us the whole story that went down on this, because it's really interesting, and it's really feel really proud of her of doing this action. And she's been doing actions as long as I've known her. So big ups to Wendy, and that'll be coming up soon. One of the things that we're going to move up now, and again talk about one of the things that our friend State Senator Mary Kunesh talked about Friday. I really feel like it's really important to play that again. And without any further ado, why don't we, Misko, play that?
Matakiape, everybody. This weekend is the 1-year anniversary of the murder and assassination of our state legislative leader, Melissa Hortman, and her husband, Mark, and their dog, and then the attempted assassination of Senator Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, and their daughter. It's still hard to believe that Melissa Hortman is gone. She was really and truly an incredible leader. And oftentimes we don't appreciate people until they're gone and they're not leading in the way that we were so used to. But I think almost everybody appreciated Melissa Hortman in real time. She was just a regular person who really had the heart of Minnesotans in mind. She was not politically advantageous. She wasn't looking to, run for higher office or, to, of course, most elected officials do not make money when they're as an elected official. So, she wasn't looking for the glory. I mean, she oftentimes, and rightfully so, deflected the praise and appreciation to others who had done the hard work. And she was lucky enough to be the leader to say, go ahead, take this and run with it. And she was just an all around really, really good person. And if people out there don't know what we're talking about, a year ago on the 14th, man impersonating a police officer had a hit list, and he was bent on assassinating everybody on that hit list, and they all happened to be elected officials, elected Democrats. And I can tell you my name was on that list. So it's kind of pretty freaky for me too, but I'll just never forget a year ago getting a phone call at about 3:30 in the morning that there had been this assassination attempt in both households. And we actually thought all of the people that were involved, all those legislators and their families, had been murdered. But John Hoffman and his wife, both of them having taken 8 to 9 bullets each in their bodies, have survived and continue to do the good work. It's the anniversary of that shooting. Vance Bolter is the one who is accused of killing the Hortmans and shooting the Hoffmans. I think it was this morning. Vance Bolter pled guilty to his crimes. I think that was in part of his plea bargain, that he would not have to be sentenced to death.
Wow.
We don't have the death penalty here in Minnesota the way it is in some of the other states. But apparently for all of his infractions, he will be in prison for the rest of his life for sure. It was, I don't know if you saw it, but there was an interactive timeline that the Minneapolis Star Tribune put out. I don't know, were you able to see that, Robert? If not, yeah. And it was fascinating. I mean, they had it kind of minute by minute, step by step, how they eventually did take a day or 2 days to find him.
Yeah.
And
Out in the field, right?
yeah, his family owned some land in southern Minnesota, and they found him crawling through the field to get to his house, where when they had gotten to his house, they found quite a bit of ammunition and guns and other things that he was probably after. But I'm always curious how he moved around the Twin Cities, because he had to get from where the Hortman's home was and Hoffman's home was, well, Hortman's home in Brooklyn Park into North Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he took buses or Ubers or whatever, but this is a guy that showed up at their house and had actually tried 2 or 3 other legislators' homes, but they weren't home. Or didn't answer the call, but he was dressed as a police officer. You would have thought he had on police uniform. He had on the bulletproof vest. He had a SUV with just like cardboard license plates on them, and that were police ones, and had the lights going. So when John Hoffman opened the door, that's what he saw. Somebody that looks like a legit police officer and a police car in his driveway, which is why he opened the door. But he very quickly realized that was not a police officer. And that, that's when Walter started shooting through the door.
His daughter, didn't his daughter really save them by, I think, closing? She was the one closing the door, wasn't it? Or I don't remember, but she had a lot to do with saving both parents. Maybe it was getting them help right away. I don't quite remember. One of the things, I'm really glad you brought this up too, because I was going to ask you about this. How much trauma do you have through this? I mean, this, especially being convicted or pleading guilty today. And bringing back, geez, I wasn't home, but I could have been home.
Yeah. For me, it was a really tough summer last summer. I'm still a little surprised just how deeply it really did affect me. When I had that night that happened, I had my granddaughter over here. And as I said, my name was on that hit list, and my address was on that hit list. And I was told at one point that if your name and address was on it, that was his route that night.
Wow.
So I just think, for my family, and I have family that are political. They speak up on issues. It made me very, very nervous for them as well. So to lose Melissa Hortman and her family, and what happened to John, and the Annunciation shooting.
Yes.
Last year was very difficult emotionally in a lot of ways.
And how I guess too, part of my question, one of my questions would be, is like, we talk a lot about this a lot on Native Roots Radio, is how are you getting through that? Talking with family, anything professional? Did the legislature have you have any availability for you for your healing?
Yep, I have to say that my caucus really stepped up. They provided mental health services for us. They installed security systems in our homes for us, so that we're able to monitor and patrol our homes, either from the inside or where we are outside. But family and friends, really important.
Well, that was our friend, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and I just wanted to really play that again because of how close she was to this murderer and how it affected her and also the lawmakers that were out there. I just wanted to play that again, especially with what's going on here on AM 950 locally. Tonight at 7, Lori Fitz Connection Radio is hosting a special tribute to Melissa Hortman tonight, featuring conversations with U.S. Representative Kelly Morrison, Minnesota House Rep Patty Acombe, and DFL House Leader Zach Stevens. I just thought it was really important to do a prequel to the great show that's going to be on after us locally here on AM 950. And of course, you can pick it up on all the Facebooks and things like that. Really excited to have Wendy come up here and talk about her journey and where it's at right now with our sacred animals and these beagles that really deserve better.
Stay with us.
This is Native Roots Radio. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Warmer weather, sunny skies, summer is here. At the Walker, this means mini golf is open on the rooftop. Artist-led activations return to the hillside, and the cinema has a series of curated films. It's the perfect time to visit. Gallery admissions are free every Thursday night and free every day for members and citizens of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org/summer.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
We are your relatives.
We are your relations.
Brothers,
sisters,
sons,
daughters. And some of us are your grandchildren.
We are your community. Historically, we held places of honor and respect. Because of the impact of colonization, some of us are rejected, thrown out from family, friends, and community, set up as targets for sexual violence, sex trafficked, humiliated, tortured, and murdered. Everybody has the right to be safe. We are your relatives. Remember,
homophobia is not traditional.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Maintaining our health, particularly our heart health, is very important to us as a family.
Your heart gives you time with family, time with community, time to pass down what matters. Protecting your heart helps keep those moments alive. A visit with a healthcare provider can be one step toward a healthier future. Learn more at hennepincounty.gov/hearts-beats. Your heart health is essential because your heart beats for generations.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
I'm Lori Fitz, host of Connections Radio on AM 950. Please join us for a special broadcast reflecting on the life and legacy of former House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman. We present a tribute where her colleagues share professional and personal memories, showing how her leadership legacy continues to inspire. We'll hear from guests like U.S. Representative Kelly Morrison and other local leaders about Hortman's profound impact. Tune in right here on AM 950 this Sunday at 7 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low of 55. Then Tuesday, clearing with a high of 73. Warmer weather is on the horizon, and what better way to welcome it back than with a fantastic meal and a show at Crooner's Supper Club. Crooner's is located in Fridley on Highway 65, just north of I-694. Check out their concert schedules and dinner menus at croonersmn.com.
AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Robert Pilot. And again, locally coming up next, Lori Fitz of Connections Radio is hosting a special tribute to Melissa Hortman here locally. And again, if you want to catch it on the YouTubes and all the other social medias, just look up AM 950. Wendy, thanks a lot for coming on early. And I know you have some great news, and I feel like I'm a little tired here, so I might hand over the show to you. But really some exciting news, and I'm going to give you the microphone, so to speak, and then take it from there. And I'd really love, after you give this news, talk a little bit about your journey and these Beagles' journeys. Thanks, Wen.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. What Robert's talking about is the Ridgeland dogs that were in Wisconsin in the very large facility. Excuse me. It was a breeding and experimentation facility. So Ridgeland Farms bred beagles there and sold the beagles throughout the United States to different pharmaceutical companies, biomedical companies, where they were really torturously experimented on. Ridgeland Farms over the years had over 311 violations due to animal cruelty. And finally, we got a lot of the dogs out. So finally about, I don't know the exact numbers. I'm going to give you an about number, and then I'll get the numbers when everything is sorted out and done. But about 2,000 dogs were there, and about 1,600 of them were rescued and gotten out. And the rest, around 475, 500 dogs were left there. And even though Ridgeland Farms had to end their breeding license, they weren't allowed to breed any more dogs and sell them after July 1st. These dogs that were left there, again, 475, 500 of them, were able to still be experimented on. So the government was still supporting the research part of their facility. And we were really upset about that because we wanted all the dogs to get out. So today, I got the wonderful news. It was all over my social media that all of the dogs are going to be rescued, taken out of Ridgeland Farms, and Ridgeland Farms is closing down for good. Closing down. Yes, this is like a huge deal. I honestly never thought that this was going to happen in my lifetime, to be honest with you. Things like this take years and years. And I was watching Wayne Pacelli. He's from the Humane Economy, and he was talking about the timeline of all what brought all of this about. And he talks this all started back in October of 2025. The Center for Humane Economy joins Dane for Dogs, PETA, the Simple Heart. So the Simple Heart is the organization that I was volunteering with Wayne Chung, Rise for Animals, and others to push for accountability, closure of Ridgeland Farms, and the release of the dog. So that was the first thing that happened in October of 2025. Later in October of 2025, Special Prosecutor Tim Grunke secures an agreement requiring Ridgeland Farms to surrender its commercial dog breeding and seller's license by July 1st. So that's what I just talked about. February of 2026, the Center for Humane Economy opens discussions with Ridgeland Farms about acquiring the dogs before they can be sold to laboratories and universities. So they went in there and was like, wait, before these dogs are sold off to be experimented on, let's get them out. And they offered them a lot of money. March 2026, Wayne Chung, he leads a major protest at Ridgeland Farms, drawing advocates from Wisconsin and all over the country. And that's when the protesters went in their hazmat suits. They broke into Ridgeland Farms and they got 30 dogs out. 8 of them were confiscated by the police, and it brought so much attention and so much news that it was really, it was unbelievable. So then in April, Big Dog Ranch Rescue, they're doing amazing work, and they're in Florida. They joined the negotiations to help secure the dog's release, and that was April of 2026. Now, a little bit after that, April 19th of 2026, a second, even larger protest shines a national spotlight on Ridgeland Farms. That's the one I was involved with. And there was about 1,500 of us who went there to try to break in again and get the dogs out. But we were met with the sheriff's deputies who shot pepper spray, tear gassed us, shot us with rubber bullets. They had drones all over the place. I mean, it was very scary.
It's
But
like Standing Rock.
it was really bad. But I am so happy that we went because it really brought so much attention to what was happening in Ridgeland Farms. And people had no idea that these beagles were still stuck in there and they were being experimented on.
Exactly.
Late April of 2026, Center for Humane Economy and Big Dog Ranch Rescue finalized the agreement to remove 1,500 dogs. Rescue partners begin transferring the dogs. And that was like the happiest time, really. You know, we saw the beagles being taken out, putting in the crates, moving on, and it was
Shipped
just
all
shipped
over.
all over. Rescue organizations throughout the United States from all over the country stepped up to rescue these dogs, to find fosters for them, to rehabilitate them, to give them veterinary care, to spay neuter. It's really unbelievable. And now today we're at early June of 2026. A second agreement is securing the rest of the dogs to get out. So we're really happy. So 135 beagles were going to be out, I believe, this week. That's a total removed, surpasses 1,600. Ridgeland Farms attorney Eric McLeod tells attorney Joseph Good that the company is winding down their operations. Negotiations secure the transfer of all the remaining 475 dogs out. Hopefully they'll all be out. We won't have to talk about this anymore. I shouldn't say that. We are going to talk about this more because
New York.
yes, there's a big giant, I can't remember the name of the facility. I'll get that. That has over 20,000 dogs, cats, I believe ferrets. But anyway, lots and lots of animals. So the problem is that the National Institute of Health funds these places, grants billions of dollars to do these horrific experiments that don't even make any sense anymore. They fail in every trial. That we're not learning anything except to torture these animals, but it's big business, right?
Yeah.
Research grants
People got to be
involving,
getting paid off for
absolutely.
this because do it. You can research differently now. This is 2026.
Absolutely, Robert. Pharmaceutical industries, they must make the transition away from animal testing and use other ways, right? We can't have this happening anymore.
Crazy.
It really is. Here's a crazy statistic. The government reported the last complete year with the data showed that over 42,000 dogs were used in invasive, painful testing in the United States in a year. 42,000 dogs. Yeah. So we have to stop this. Yeah, so I'm still really very much involved and keeping in touch with Wayne Chung. He has the organization, The Simple Heart, and he organizes these giant rescues and gets everything organized. And we have Zoom meetings where we're taught how to peacefully protest and not be agitators and how to rescue dogs in a good way, and that we have the right to rescue. We have the right to rescue these animals. These animals are being tortured. They're kept in horrific conditions, and we have the right to rescue. If you saw a dog in a car with the windows up on a 90-degree day, you have the right to rescue that dog. So this is not anything different. So there's going to be a lot more awareness brought about animal testing in the United States, and we're going to shut it down. And I'm really going to work hard on doing that and doing whatever I can to help. And I want to see this. I want to see this transition away from animal testing in the United States in my lifetime. So we don't have a lot of time left. So we really got to get going on this.
Oh, you're going to live.
We really have a lot to do.
I'm going to pass on before you.
You know, it's funny. We have this. Picture thing in our living room, and we download pictures in it, and it just like randomly, just every like 3 seconds shows you a new picture. And years ago, I remember driving in my car, and it would always tell me, you know, when the gas was getting low, and it came up and it said 1 mile till empty. And I don't know why, I just thought that was so funny. So I took a picture of it, and it kind of reminded me of like, you have 1 mile till empty. You have so much to do until that's it. You don't have any time left. And I put it on the frame in our living room, and every now and then it pops up, and it reminds me that I have a lot to do before I die. So I have to get moving.
I'm right with you on that. Yeah. Hey, I wonder if your report's done. I wonder if we can go back to the old days of
I have more to tell you.
That.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Not about the Ridgeland Farms, but about other things that we can touch on, if that's okay with you.
It's great.
I always have a lot of information.
That's great. Hey, we're here with Wendy and talking about our sacred animal section, and Wendy's saving the show. So we'll be right back after this short break. Please stay with us. Oh, I beat you, Wendy. Mm-hmm.
Heart health is more than just the physical well-being. It represents like a foundation of vitality, resilience, and the ability to live fully.
Your heart carries stories of resilience, love, and survival. Caring for your heart means honoring yourself and the generations before and after you. It means protecting your ability to gather, laugh, and be present. Learn more about your heart health at hennepincounty.gov/heart-beats, because your story matters and your heart beats for generations. Support comes from the Walker Arts Center. Visit during free Thursday nights. Every week from 5 to 9 p.m., there's something new to explore. Enjoy date-friendly events like artist talks, performances, and exhibition openings, or explore art-making open library hours and exhibition tours. Settle into your weekend among community. Free every Thursday night and free every day for citizens and members of tribal nations. Learn more at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis Air dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis Air on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Phase 2 of the Track and Signals project for the full Metro Blue Line begins June 29th and requires replacement bus service until August 19th. The Metro Green Line will also need replacement bus service at select stations for several dates of the Blue Line maintenance period. Sign up for rider alerts and learn about replacement bus station locations and dates at metrotransit.org/track-signals. Again, that's metrotransit.org/track-signals.
Hi, it's Dr. Evan Adams, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio. Hey, Victor, you better be listening.
In this portion of the show, we'd like to bring awareness to our wolf and bear populations throughout Turtle Island. Say no to the hunts.
Hey, welcome back to Native Roots Radio, and big peeny gigi for Wendy for coming on early. Nobody wants to hear me babble, Wendy. So I'm glad you're coming in with some really great content and telling your story to people maybe have not heard the story. I just want to remind everyone right after the show, there is let me just read this again. There is a Melissa Hortman special here locally on AM 950 right after us. And U.S. Representative Kelly Morrison, Minnesota's House Rep Patty Lacombe, and House Leader Zach Stevens will be on talking about and memorializing Melissa Hortman.
Yeah.
Wendy,
I can't believe it's a year. It just, honestly, to me,
and you know what happened that day?
It feels like it just was yesterday, and it's still just so raw and heartbreaking.
Do you remember what we did that day?
We went to the Capitol, and
Yeah,
there were thousands
they tried to
of
call it off.
people.
There was 80,000 people there. They tried to call it off.
Yes, we went right to Minnesota State Capitol. It was unbelievable. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm telling you, every day there's something else.
Yeah, I know. I just got to reintroduce Wendy, and Wendy's been with me and a co-founder of Native Roots Radio and Native Roots Trading Post and Pilot's Palette, and we're going to be at Pride.
We're going to be at Pride this year. Native Roots Trading Post and Pilot's Palette, which is my art, and I'm making some special pieces just for Pride, and I'm really happy with them. And yeah, come and see us. What are we? 392.
Yeah.
392.
Yeah, come on by and say hi. We'll be there. And,
yeah.
And I'll be there except for 1:00 on Saturday. I'm doing a live show on AM 950, and Robert Lilligren will be on again. And I can't think of his name. I'll tell you at the end of this. And then he'll be on too.
Okay, great. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. You know, our little, we've already told you that our little dog Wanda is kind of, yeah, she's not doing that great. I mean, she's okay. And she's, you know, we don't have to make a decision today, but it's, I don't know. I just feel like the time is going to happen sooner than we'd like. But, you know, we can't leave her more than 3 hours, maybe 4 at the most, alone, just because she needs medication every 4 hours, and I just don't want to leave her that long. So I'll be back and forth during Pride, just going back and forth. So, you know, anyway. Okay, some good news. Philadelphia City Council just banned horse-drawn carriages. So I just talked about this about a week and a half ago in New York City. Another carriage, a horse, died. It's still under investigation why the horse died, but we've been trying to end the horse carriage business in New York City for a very long time. And I'm just so happy that Philadelphia was working on this. And like a day after the New York City horse passed away, the Philadelphia can't I can't talk. The Philadelphia City Council banned its horse carriage businesses. So I'm like really happy about that because these horses are they're pulling people around. It's hot. They're in traffic. They're breathing fumes.
The fumes must be.
It's freezing out. It's a money-making business. And when it's a money-making business and it has to do with animals, I'm telling you right now, the animals are not getting treated exactly the way they should be. So, and actually 2 horses have died in New York City streets 2 weeks ago. A third carriage overturned. So the 2 horses, that was, I believe, last year or the year before. And then 2 weeks ago, a third, that was the one we were talking about, overturned in Central Park on a day with both a heat advisory and an air quality alert.
Come on.
Yeah.
Geez.
So the driver was also injured. The horse, yeah, it's just crazy what happens with these horses. So back in 2022, a horse named Ryder collapsed on 9th Avenue and later died. In August of 2025, a horse named Lady collapsed and died on 51st Street. Each time the debate flared up again, each time the carriages keep running. Mayor Mandandi, oh my God. Mamdani.
No, I think you said it right the first time. I got
Zoran
a selfie with him.
Mandani. Thank you. Zoran Mandani, elected in November of 2025, has pledged to ban horse carriages from Central Park. He said, quote, "I support removing horse carriages from Central Park. I intend to deliver on that." Okay, so we'll see what happens. He also says
he's been doing everything he says he's been doing.
he really has, and I'm just so excited about him and what he has in store for New York. I think it's really great, He also went on to say, quote, "These horses are prey animals who do not belong in a chaotic city traffic." Oh, that's said by the New York class executive director, Eden Burkank. These incidents keep happening because nothing has changed. So that's what happens. The horse dies. It's a terrible thing. People get hurt. It's in the news, it's in the newspaper, and then nothing happens. And we just go on and on and on. And it's really crazy because, there's a few cities that have transitioned from horse-drawn carriages to an electric carrier. So it looks exactly like, if you could just imagine the horse-drawn carriage,
Yeah.
it looks exactly like that, except the driver's in the front with a steering wheel, and it's an electric vehicle, so there's no horse.
So kind of updated.
It is updated, and it's still, covered and pretty, and, you could sit in there in the seat with a blanket and go through Central Park.
Makes so much sense because how much do you engage with the horse that's 20 feet away from you anyway?
You don't engage with the horse. There's people who say this is nostalgia and, there's nothing like, driving through Central Park in a horse-drawn carriage. And it's, they don't see that, these horses are getting hurt. They don't want to see that they're mistreated and,
Ignorance is bliss.
But what happens is what we could do is transition from the horse-drawn carriage to these electric vehicles, and so that the handlers won't lose their jobs. So, some cities have done that.
Probably
Even in
save
Europe,
money.
they've done that, so.
Maybe we can get one and start a business.
I'm sure it's I mean, I could imagine that it's very expensive to keep the horses. They have to,
Yeah,
you know,
and
keep them in a
travel.
keep them in a stall and, you know, feed them, veterinary care, water them, whatever. I don't know too much about caring for horses, but you know, yeah, it's really crazy. So
Well, Wendy, again, thank you for coming on a little early and giving us those 2 reports. Really appreciate you.
yeah, we have some good news.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll keep going, and way to go, Philadelphia.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, again, everyone, I want to thank Wendy. I thank Misko for producing the show. And also, I just want to remind everyone up next here locally in Minnesota is a Lori Fitz with a special tribute to Melissa Hortman right after Native Roots Radio. So if you're listening to the show, you are part of the resistance from Chief Plenty Coops, the ground on which we stand on. It's sacred ground. It's the blood of our ancestors. We need to resist, divest, join a group, run for office, vote, you know, and adopt, don't shop, and don't ride those horses in New York or even in Stillwater. I've seen them there too.
Exactly.
Hey, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Big Peeny Gee.